No catching Pokemon run in Platinum. Okay, great. I chose Piplup as my starter. Now I'm fighting Barry. His ass I spam withdraw, so my punches didn't do shit. But my little Piplup still kept punching him. So instead, I started growling at him to get his attack as low as mine. Well, to get his attack down as much as his defense is up, so we do the same amount of damage, and eventually, I punched him to death. God, he's gonna be an asshole with that, I know it. Next Rattle Fight time. I bubble his Starly, almost killing it as it goes for 2 growls. Next up is Turtwig, and doing the same thing with Draw. Bubble does the same amount of damage, but he keeps withdrawing, so I'm just gonna keep bubbling him down, going for the weaker special defense he has. I think. I don't fucking know. Anyway, so eventually I do take his Turtwig out. Next up is Rourke. And well, Piplup evolved and all that, so I bubbled his Onix and Geodude, forced his weaknesses. Then his Kratos survived. Took 3 bubbles after him healing the potion. Next up is Mars. Bubble Beams got her Zubat. And a couple Bubble Beams took down her Perugly. Remember when I was younger, I used to have so much trouble. To be fair, I am quite overleveled. Alright, Gardenia time. I peck her Turtwig as it goes for Reflect. Another peck to do it in. I keep pecking it to do some damage, but it eventually took me out a few Razor Leafs. So I needed to evolve into Employing, like the Steel Weakness. I peck it, almost one-shot it. I peck it to a half, peck another half, take 2 more pecks to get out. Next up is Charm. I use Peck, the Leech Seed. It Leech Seeds me. The Reflect wears off, so my pecks do a lot more damage. Next up is Roserade. I use Peck. It paralyzes me. I use 1 more peck and I beat Gardenia. Jupiter fight time. So Bumblebee Beam takes out her Zubat and Skuntank. Then I get an egg from Cynthia. Finally getting my second team member, which evolves into Hatches of Togepi. Alright, but Togepi's still not in fight condition to take on Pantina, so I just Bubble Beam. I Bubble Beam all of her Pokemon down. And then last up is Smagius, who lives a Bubble Beam, uses Magical Leaf, then another Bubble Beam takes it out. Then it's time to fight Barry, but you know, overleveled still. I use Peck on his Grotto, not doing too much damage, but I eventually take it out as he gets Razor Leafs. Next up is Weasel. I go for Rock Smashes, just because I think they do more damage. The last up is a Ponytail one-shot with Bubble Beam. Then I got in Porygon from a guy in Veilstone. Then I backtracked to Hearthorn and got an Eevee, I forgot. And then, yeah. So yeah, I was able to evolve Porygon and Eevee into Porygon 2 and Espeon. So yeah, I used Hidden Power of Ghost on Maylene's Meditite, Psychic on her Machoke, and last up is her Lucario, and I Flamethrowered it. I got a bunch of TMs from gambling. Alright, time to fight Barry on a bridge, because this is safe. I Ice Beam and Staravia, one-shotting it. Next up is Ponytail. I decided to stay in because, wrong route fight. My bad, I'm sorry. I'm barely paying attention. Fight outside Wake's gym. I don't want to use Employment, I'm still over leveled, so you know, I Ice Beam it down. Scroll down. Next up is Weasel. I use Thunderbolt on it, taking it out. Wake time. I go for Thunderbolt as it goes for Waterfall. One shot in his Gyarados, which is nice. Next up is Floatzel. I go for another Thunderbolt, taking it out. 2 Thunderbolt, it takes me out the brine. Next up is my Togetic. It goes for Ice Fang. I go for Fly, take it out. Next up is Quagsire. I use Fly. I use Hidden Power Ice just because it's neutral. I went for Fly. 2 more Flies. A Rock Tomb and a Waterfall took me out. Last up is Espeon. I use Psychic and I take down Crash Awake. So the fight Cyrus. I use Single Beam on his... What was that fucking Pokemon called? Weavile Previous Sneeze, that's what it's called. Then I use Thunderbolt on his Golbat. Last up is Murkrow. I try to use Ice Beam, takes me out Drill Peck. I send out Togetic, trying to go for Rock, Agent Power, but a Pain Attack and Drill Peck take me out. I send out Espeon, I go for Swift. I use a Pain Attack, he heals, 2 Swifts take it out. Alright, now Rival Fight on the Cantaloupe Bridge. I go for Hidden Power Ice, 2-shotting it, luckily not missing. Next up is Rapidash. Since they caught up, I decided to throw out Empoleon again. I use Surf, one-shotting his Rapidash. Next up is his Heracross. I go out to Togetic, but it faints. I send out Porygon, but 2 Brick Breaks to take him out. Last, I send out Espeon, I go for Psychic, taking out the Heracross. Instead of Floatzel, I just go for Psychic, taking out his Floatzel. Last up is Torterra. 1 Psychic takes 2 seconds to take it out. Ooh-wee. Alright, I got an egg from whatever that guy's name is. Then it hatched to Riolu. Then after a lot of grinding, it allowed to Lucario. In Byron time, I forgot in this game he doesn't lead with I forgot my Porygon doesn't have a fight test, so I send out Lucario. He takes a hit and I use Aura Spear. I use Aura Spear on Steelix, one-shotting him, and last up is his Bastiodon. 1 Aura Spear takes him out. Lucario's OP, that's why he's like basically second master. Time to fight Saturn. Well, I one-shot his Golbat with Psychic. Next up is Bronzor. I used 2 Shadow Balls to take it out. Next up is his Toxicroak, but Psychic took it out. Because it's 4 times weakness. Alright, time to fight Valley Windworks, bitch, slut that I forgot. I don't know. Ancient Power, 2 Ancient Power, Sure Golbat. I got the boost. Flamethrower, one-shot or Bronzor. Or Perugly, she used Fake Out, but a couple Flamethrowers took it out. Literally roasted a cat. Roasted cat. Alright, time to fight Candace. Probably the best my favorite gym leader in the game. Aura Spear one-shots her Sneasel. Aura Spear one-shots her Pillow-Swine. And, I go for I use Flash Cannon. I probably went for Aura Spear. Focus Blast one-shots my Lucario. Which is my favorite just because I like Ice types. I might do an Ice type only run, but Ice types come so late in the game. That's why it sucks. But whatever. Last episode of Frost Blast. I use Shadow Ball, bring it to 25. I use Double Team in the Hail, make it +2 Double Team. Shadow Ball, check it out though. Luckily hitting. Alright, next up is the second Cyrus fight. Goes for Slash, so I Rock Smash. Is Sneasel. Crobat's next. I use Psychic to one-shot it with Espeon. Next up is his Honchkrow. I use Ice Beam. I keep going for Ice Beam as it takes Porygon 2 out with a few Drill Pecks as he heals up. Alright, then I send out my Empoleon. Surf takes it out. Then now it's time to fight Saturn, I think his name is again. Psychic one-shots his Golbat. The guy with the Toxicroak. Flamethrower one-shots his Bronzor. Then Psychic one-shots his Toxicroak. Alright, double battle time. This is really not that challenging, more or less stally, I guess. I just kept surfing them down, but ironically, I crit them Berry's Munchlax, but not the fucking enemies. Alright. Then I Rock Climb the Skuntank, get confusing it, luckily. Fire Blast missed, but for some reason, Skuntank learned Flamethrower naturally, but not fucking Rapidash. Like, what logic does that make? Whatever. I just kept surfing down, and when the light screen wore off, it straight through Perugly and Skuntanks. Granted, I did crit Perugly, but hey, killed all 3 on the field with Empoleon. Alright, now last episode 2 Golbats, a few Air Cutters. 2 Air Cutters took down Berry's Heracross. A Surf took down one of the Golbats. Then he sent out Floatzel. Floatzel's Iron Tail took out Golbat. Alright, final fight with Cyrus. I lead off with Togekiss. I use Ancient Power. He's his Flamethrower. He burns me, then Ancient Power takes it out. Alright, Weevil's coming up. Weevil. Uses Fake Out, Steadfast activates, and then Aura Spear takes out his Weevil. Yes, that's what we're calling it now, Weevil. Gyarados is up. I send out Porygon Z. I use Thunderbolt, bring him down to 1. He heals. Thunderbolt, bring it back down to red. Waterfall takes him out. Next up is Lucario. I use Aura Spear to finish him off. Then next up is Honchkrow. I use Aura Spear as it goes for Heat Wave, leaving me at 4. Now the Aura Spear takes it out. Alright, his last Pokemon is Crobat. I send out Espeon, and like the other two fights, Psychic one shot. Alright, time to fight Press Naruto. I use Aura Spear on his Jolteon, two-shotting it. Next up is his Raichu. I use Aura Spear as it goes for Focus Blast, bringing Lucario down to 36 HP. Now Aura Spear takes it out. Next up is Luxray, my favorite Gen 4 Pokemon, I believe one of anyway. Thunderfang takes out Lucario after I hit him with Aura Spear. Psychic. Damn, Porygon Z is a lot weaker than I thought. I mean, or maybe I need a Tri-Attack. I'm about to get Tri-Attack, so it'll be fine. Ice Beam took out Porygon Z. Last up is his Electivire. Critical Psychic took it out. That was lucky. Final fight with Barry. Start off to use Close Combat as I use Ice Beam. So I went back and top Empoleon, a bunch of new moves. I have to get rid of all those HMs that had. Ice Beam also takes out his Torterra. Next up is Heracross. I send out Togekiss. I go for Fly, one-shotting his Heracross. Next up is his Floatzel. I decide to stay in. He uses the Ice Fang, it flinches me. And he uses Ice Fang again. I miss my Fly. Then I use Ancient Power to do damage. The next turn he uses Aqua to take me out. Next up, I send out Porygon Z, goes for Brick Break as I go for Thunderbolt, taking it out from there. Next up is Snorlax, I use Tri-Attack. I get very lucky and I freeze it. I keep going for Tri-Attacks. 2 more Tri-Attacks to get out while it stayed frozen. Next up is Rapidash. I threw Empoleon back out. This is the last use Sunny Day. I use Surf, one-shotting it. Time to fight Aaron. I use Stealth Rock as a good double team. Then I use Ice Beam, luckily hitting it through 2 double teams, killing it. Next up is his Heracross. I use Flamethrower to one-shot it. Next up is his Drapion. After debating what else to do, I decided to Togekiss start flamethrowing it to death. It's tanky though, so it stalls me out. It's not a bug type, so he heals up. I keep going for flamethrowers, and I take it out eventually at half health. Next up is Vespiquen. It's taken to half health by Stealth Rocks. One flamethrower takes it out. Last up is Scizor. 4 times weak to fire. Flamethrower takes it out. Next up is Bertha. I didn't know she had Whiscash, so I lit out with Empoleon. So 2 Surfs took it out though still. Next up is her Hippowdon. I go for Surf, one-shotting it. Alright, next up is her Gliscor. I decided to switch over to Porygon Z. Go for Ice Beam as he hit with an Earthquake, taking it out one shot. Next is her Golem. I use Ice Beam, bring it down to 25. That uses Earthquake plus Sandstorm takes me out. I then send out Espeon and use Psychic to finish it off. Next up is her Rhyperior. I send out Empoleon. 4 times weakness to Surf, takes it out. Next up is Flint. He goes off with Houndoom. I go for Stealth Rock. Then I go for Surf as it goes for Flamethrower. Surf brings out the 50% because of Sunlight. Then another Surf takes it out, leaving Empoleon out of red health. Alright, next up is Infernape. I swap out to Espeon as I go for Psychic, one-shotting it. Next up is his Rapidash, so I stay in and just keep stalling it with keep attacking it with Psychic as I get hit with the Solar Beam. I use Swift, and another Psychic takes it out. Next up is his Flareon. I use Psychic as he heals, then I start using Side Beam to save on PP. And further, I've proven that Espeon's better than Flareon, which I'm pretty sure no one needed that proof. Next up is Magmortar. I use Thunderbolt, taking out my Empoleon. Next, I send out Lucario, use Force Field to do damage, doesn't kill it. He eats Spare, and then Flamethrower takes me out one shot. Send out Porygon Z, use Flamethrower, bring him down to half. I use Tri Attack once, and another Flamethrower takes me out. Send out Togekiss, I go for Ancient Power, killing it from there. Alright, final Elite Four member Lucian. I go for Shadow Claw, critting and taking out as Mr. Mime. He's Gallade. I go for Flies, as it goes, I miss, it hits Stone Edge. I go for Fly and hit this time, and he hits, use Crit and taking it out. Next up is Alakazam, uses Psychic to take out Togekiss. I send out Porygon Z, I go for Dark Pulse, but it hits his Focus Blast and takes me out. Alright, next up is Espeon. I go for Shadow Ball, bring it to yellow, goes for Energy Ball. He heals, I go for another Shadow Ball, and I go for another Shadow Ball, taking it out. Guess we had a speed tie. Alright, next up is his own Espeon. So I decided to stay in, and after debating what to do, I decided to stay in and just keep Shadow Ball down. We both know Shadow Ball. I lower special defense though, so this next Shadow Ball takes it out as he heals up. Last up is his Bronzor, so I go for Surf, bring down the half, goes for Calm Mind, I go for another Surf, he goes for Earthquake. I go for Shadow Claw, barely doesn't take it out, then another Earthquake takes it out. I send out Lucario, finishing off the Aura Spear. Alright, 10th fight champion Cynthia. I use Stealth Rock on the first Pokemon to set up, then I start using Surfs to take it out. I go for another Surf, then I go for Shadow Claw, then I go for Ice Beam. Thinking it was gonna switch, but nope. Alright, good start. Next up is our Garchomp, uses Earthquake, brings down the red. I use Ice Beam on Porygon Z, barely not killing it. He eats a berry, another Earthquake takes me out. Next up is Togekiss. He's a Giga Impact, I use Hidden Power Ice, because I forgot I had that. Next up is our Togekiss, I go for another HP Ice, as he goes for Shockwave. Another Hidden Power took it out. Next up is our Lucario. I decided to throw out my Lucario. I go for Aura Spear, barely not taking it out, and her Aura Spear took my Lucario out. Alright, send out my Togekiss. As he healed up, I go for Flamethrower. Barely not one shot, I goes for Extreme Speed, taking off Togekiss. I send out Empoleon, goes for Aura Spear, taking him out. I send out Espeon, I go for Psychic, taking Lucario out. Then next was my Lotic. I go Psychic, she uses Mirror Coat, another Psychic, barely take it out, Ice Beam takes me out. I can do this, a few more levels. Alright, a few more levels. I use Stealth Rock on her Whimsicott, then I use Surf. Then I use another Surf to take her out. Next up is our Garchomp. I send out Porygon Z. He goes for Earthquake, I eat it, then another one Ice Beam takes it out. The next up is their Lucario. I send out mine. I go for Aura Spear, taking that out one shot. Next up is Togekiss. I go for Ice. Easy Aura Spear. I go for Ice Beam on my Empoleon. Then he goes for Shockwave, taking Empoleon out. Next up is Espeon. I use Psychic to take it out. Next up is her Milotic. So I send out Porygon Z. Use 2 Thunderbolts. I take it out. Leave it at 1 HP. Last up is our Roserade. I send out Espeon. I use Psychic, winning. It's kind of funny. I have 2 levels can make